Special event alert.
I took a shower after PT at the gym and realized I forgot my boots, which is excuse number 6 for being late for Changeover, your weekly space news and variety show. I'm your host, Marty Smith, and I'm joined by Mr. History, Eric Perrott.
What's going on, my peeps? How are you?
And our man in the closet, Jake Wall.
Ooh,
Wow, you got it.
I used to hate that. You'd have a mental checklist of everything you needed before you left for the gym. You're like,
Fuck, I got
blousing
everything.
straps.
All right, I got it. Oh, yeah, right. Belts. Fucking belts.
Yep.
But the boots, you had no recourse. I mean,
Oh,
unless
there's
you
nothing.
wanted to trump in your
Yep.
tennis shoes, then you look like
You
a
got nothing.
dickhead the whole time. We're here to bring you the latest headlines and updates pertinent to all Guardians and to the other lesser branches as well. So take your seats, get informed, and have a laugh as we present Late for Changeover.
Hey now.
Gentlemen, good to see you. Not sure where Anna is. She's very late for Changeover. I don't know.
She's looking for a
She's
fat guy in
just-
overalls in a cornfield. Trying to find a web page.
with-
OnlyFans.
You gotta
Scrunchies
take
on
it
the
up.
arms.
Yes, scrunchies.
Ah, that'll teach
Well, good to
Anna.
hear you. Good to see you. Jake, condolences on your uncle, Benjamin
Yeah.
Collins. And hopefully we'll go over his career next week. So,
Yeah.
but just want to tell you that ahead of time.
Sure.
Sorry to hear that he passed. And wait till you guys hear it next week. It's a hell of a career.
Yep.
So, you guys have a good week? All good with the job? Everything good?
Yeah, man. Can't
Right?
complain.
Retirement's tough, man. It's hard work.
Oh,
Why do you got to do that?
What'd
Jake?
you have to do? Did you have to go
Well,
twice?
you said
Three
yes.
times?
I'm just going to go yes. Yes.
Oh,
That's
man.
correct.
That's
Yes.
rough.
Yes.
Was the sauna not up to your desired temperature
No,
at the club post
was-
the golf?
it was perfect. I was
Oh.
telling Marty 2 days playing golf again tomorrow. That'll be third day. Life is good.
Damn it. See, I and we were talking about retirement too, and I can retire, and if the housing market plays out and I sell the house and I buy a new house, hopefully that's taken care of. Then all I got is just kind of utilities to live off of. But it doesn't mean that I got enough money to go to Greece and Maui
Yeah.
and fucking globetrot.
Well, I got to tell you, 25 years ago, if you'd have told me that I'd have been ready and prepared for it, I'd have said, hell no, there's no way. There was a couple things that fell into place when I worked
Oh.
for Cytor, and it was a privately
Oh,
owned
wow.
company. Don't go OnlyFans. I didn't raise enough money there.
Don't
OnlyFans.
play it off. Do that for further support of Mr. History's
My retirement.
retirement. Go to his OnlyFans.
Ask for Papa Bear.
10% off
But,
first month.
you know, employee owned at Cytor. I was there for 4 years. And then when they sold, I made a nice chunk of money that I was able to roll over a couple times with some of the last.
But you weren't vested in that ESOP, were you?
Immediately. As soon as you
What?
joined
Yeah,
Cytor.
yeah,
Same way with ICR, the company that I still consult for.
yeah. Parsons
thing.
does that too.
Yep.
Oh man.
So things
Man.
fell into place for me that allowed me to retire. And then, of
well,
course,
that's good. Yeah.
the additional plus was my wife. So that was helpful too.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
plus.
Plus.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we can't all marry a rich, hot-looking woman.
Marry
out
up.
there, so
And she still
Yeah.
appreciates that comment. Married up. Yep.
but then the other side of that is that they're like, "Wow, you really slummed it, didn't you?"
I was at the wedding in Iowa, and there was this lady there drawing characters. You know how they make you sit in front of them, they draw you,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
supposed to be fun.
Yeah, you said you look like an old man.
Yeah, it looked like Teresa sitting with her grandfather or something. I was like, this
It
is
was a
not
good one.
cool.
That's the luckiest grandfather ever.
Not cool. We'll keep it as it's my money. I have so much money that she loves me
Oh.
for.
charming personality and knowledge of history. Gets them every time.
Yeah.
Swoon like in the olden days. Let me read you some
history
history.
pays, boys and girls. History
Yeah.
pays.
Know your history books.
It's all the nice women.
Well, let's get to the news, shall we?
Yeah.
This first story is kind of it seems boring until you hear about the payload. All right. So from military.com, the FAA gives SpaceX the okay to launch just one Falcon 9 on an asteroid mission for Europe. So what had happened a couple of weeks ago was SpaceX launched the Crew Dragon up to the ISS, but their stage that came down, the second stage, it had a rocket misfire, and so it didn't land where it was supposed to.
Oh, yeah.
And so the FAA grounded them for that.
Yeah.
It's like
We
so
used to just throw them in the ocean, right? You remember that.
randomly.
You're
right?
like,
with a parachute if you were lucky.
Yeah.
And now
Heads
they're
up.
like, oh, you didn't land, so they grounded them. So while no public injuries or public property damage was reported, the FAA required an investigation. It marked the third time this year the FAA has grounded the Falcon 9, and the second time because of an issue with the rocket's second stage. And it's not even going up; it's returning the second stage.
It didn't run into an airplane or anything. Good Lord.
Right. The FAA stated SpaceX submitted its mishap investigation report and a request to return to flight on October 4th. So the FAA on last Sunday announced it was approving just one SpaceX Falcon 9 mission, which launched on Monday, the 7th of October, just ahead of the hurricane. They were like, we got a small window, launch it. And they went, man. So the FAA gave the okay because the payload for that Falcon 9 was the European Space Agency's Hera mission, which is a follow-up to NASA's DART mission. Have you ever heard of DART?
No.
I haven't either.
I thought it was a shitty Dodge.
That's right. Very good. Very good, Jake. Good pull, man.
Yes.
You got to look up when the last time a DART was made. Anyway, NASA's Double Asteroid Redirection Test, otherwise known as DART. They launched that thing in 2021, and the mission was to go out to this known asteroid and see if we could hit it with this capsule or this whatever it was. Wasn't a warhead, but it was something, right? So they hit it.
Yeah.
Well, the Hera mission they just launched on Monday is supposed to overfly the site of where it hit and see if there's any like damage or a hole. I don't know. So, but DART was part of a planetary defense test to see if a potential Earth collision could be avoided through human intervention.
That's pretty
That's
cool.
Call Boeing.
Now, it must not have been a big thing because one, they got to send this probe to go look and see if it did anything. But if it had, that would have been all over the news, right? NASA would have touted that, like, look, we can do Armageddon right now if they ever come in.
Well, they don't have the results yet.
Well, that's true. That's true.
So
and I have a question. Does the FAA could not FFA, Future Farmers?
Farmers of America?
Yeah. FAA.
Sweet jackets.
Since when did FAA control airspace over a launch or even a return to Earth, right? I thought
they grounded the rocket.
I think it's because it was coming back in airspace and it wasn't controlled.
Yeah, and I don't know what the target area is. It just said it didn't land in the designated area.
I was just surprised to hear FAA involved in the controlling the space of this rocket, whether going or coming, right?
I don't know if they controlled the space of it, but they grounded the company. Basically,
That's what I
it's-
mean, though. I didn't even
Yeah.
think they
Yeah,
were
they
in
have the
charge or had
authority
the
to do
power
it.
to do that.
That's what
Okay.
you're
Yeah,
saying.
I think they still do. Yeah.
Hmm.
So anything that launches, they're like, well, maybe
That
not.
belongs to us.
It belong. You got to get us to approve
Yeah.
it, right?
Well.
Yeah, you got to pay the fine. You got to pay the license fee or whatever it is. So
Pay the dead man the coin to cross the river. Okay. Sorry. Had to go with the story.
AKA taxes.
That's right.
the European Space Agency probe Hera will fly back to the same binary asteroid system visited by NASA's DART, with Hera tasked to perform a post-impact survey of the DART target. So,
Nice.
Wow.
so that's cool that we can do it.
Do we have
Yeah,
information on when the results are going to?
Well, let's see. They launched DART. It impacted the asteroid in 2021. And now we're launching
Yeah.
the satellite to go take pictures of it. So,
Couple
That's
years.
it could be a while.
yeah, I don't know how
Yeah.
far it out. I don't know how far out the where's the asteroid belt? Is it between
So
us and what's the next planet out?
From the
Or,
moon.
No,
No, we're-
from the Earth.
what do I look like a biologist? Get out of here.
Look like an
Yeah.
FFA.
Yeah, I
Future
control
Farmer
airspace. What
America.
are you talking about?
FOFA, Future OnlyFans of America. There you go.
I like it. Mm.
Well, clearly it wasn't that big of a deal because they're like, you're grounded. Well, we got a short window coming up, and they're like, okay,
Fine.
okay, but you're still grounded. You know that,
Right,
right? Okay,
So, okay, but after this, no more.
no
That's what
more.
we say.
We are in control.
We need that European money.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
interesting that NASA, that's the one that shot the dart at the asteroid, didn't follow it up with its own satellite to go take pictures.
All right,
It's a
I'm gonna
European
find out.
agency to
Yeah.
go do that. So
no, it's
anyway,
international, global protection.
what if I say to you, were you ever down to Schriever, Eric?
I worked on Schriever when I first became a contractor.
All right. So when
Yeah.
I say Schriever, what comes to mind? What are just some of the quickest thoughts to come to mind?
That
Mine
stupid,
is-
stupid restricted area,
Well, the
Parking.
right? The parking
Yeah.
walk, right?
or the freaking turnstiles.
Horrible weather, right?
Yep.
Always windy, or just trash hill, right? You got all that stuff for Schriever. But you know what? One thing Schriever did have
The
is
dish.
a pretty damn good dining facility, right? That served after hours and everything. That was nice. If you worked a mid, you walk down there, get something to eat. You could sit or you could take it out. It was great. Or even during the day, you could send people on a food run just to the dish. That was
Yeah.
nice.
Yep.
right?
I
Well,
like that place.
we talked about it when it was just like a Reddit post or it was on Facebook, but now it's an official story. So for all those listening, troops at Schriever Space Force Base will now have to bring their own to-go boxes for the dining hall. All right. This is from
Another
military.com.
article that I scratched my hairless head going, what in the hell?
Well, let me give
are
you
we
the
talking
behinds
about
of it.
here?
Right? Let me give you the
Unbelievable.
behinds of it. Space Force Guardians of Schriever Space Force Base in Colorado will soon no longer have takeout boxes provided to them at the dining hall, meaning troops will have to bring their own containers from home if they want to take meals to go. Complaints about the upcoming change quickly took over the Space Force's page on the social media platform Reddit. A spokesperson for
Nice.
Space Base Delta One confirmed to military.com Wednesday that the change would take place on the on-base dining facility or DFAC on October 15th. So next week, all you midshifters
Bring your Tupperware.
better get something more than just your hand. man, right?
Oh,
Now, here's the tricky part, right? The spokesman said as of 15 October, Schriever DFAC will no longer provide takeout containers for patrons. This initiative is part of our ongoing efforts to reduce waste and minimize our environmental impact. Meanwhile,
Look,
if you have an MRE, that's all waste. that doesn't decompose at all.
So switch to cardboard. Like
Yes,
they do.
I
They
know,
are
right.
like they do have styrofoam freaking or
Well,
whatever.
you
I know.
remember the
It
box
is now.
nasties that we used
Yeah,
to get?
get those
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't
Chinese food
understand.
style.
Yeah.
Individuals
But
who wish to take their
It can't
food
be
to go.
sanitary either.
Well,
Like you think
no.
about it, you know there's some
true.
airmen bringing 2, maybe 1 Tupperware to work, and that thing stays there, and they hose it out in the break room.
Right.
We've
Right.
seen
And they
coffee
go back
cups
in the
that way.
chow hall and they go like this.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah. Whether they're not running their dishwasher in their dorm room, you know.
No.
I mean, it's gonna get a
unbelievable.
lot of cases of sick airmen, right?
Dude, yeah.
When
Uh,
what was the discussion that said, I wonder if we can
Well,
save money?
Hold on.
Mm.
The space-based
Eric
Delta
going.
One spokesperson said Guardians can bring their own from home or can also buy their own takeout containers from the on-base coffee shop.
On.
Sounds like a moneymaker, doesn't
But
it?
the hours of that coffee shop
Are
are
not
literally
right,
like
right,
8:30 to freaking 3:30.
Yeah, so if you come in for your mid, that shop's already closed.
You're screwed. Eric,
Right.
if you were sitting on shift guard post, you know damn well you put in your order and then you just pray.
Yeah.
You pray that it's gonna be something relatively edible. Because you never know what the kid's gonna run into when he goes in there.
Nope.
Right? He might have forgot, he might have got the wrong order. They might not even have what they said they have.
So
can you imagine having to give your Tupperware to the guy to give?
No.
Holy shit. Yeah.
Hey, did you bring your Tupperware? I didn't bring my Tupperware. You got a Tupperware I can borrow?
Dude, I just put it all in one. Is that cool? Can you guys just figure that one out?
We used to have one guy that was responsible for running hot and cold liquid. It was called 3-4. 3 being hot, 4 being cold, right? So you're picking up 3-4 tonight. You're, Echo 1, pick up 3-4, 3-4. Oh, Roger. So you'd get hot and cold, but then they'd be mixed. They'd be in different containers. Come on, man. We can't figure out which coffee goes in what container. Yeah, I can't imagine what my Tupperware would have in it.
Right.
Coming back. Oh,
and you ain't getting no drinks. I wonder if they're going to still have drink cups. That might be just like, nope, no more drinks unless you bring your own, something. Right?
I can only envision a bunch of guys thinking they're important sitting around the table going, how can we get rid of this freaking requirement of providing box lunches?
Right. Well, while the initiative is aimed at reducing waste on base, the spokesperson added that they hope it will give troops on base the opportunity to not take the food out and to take a break and enjoy a meal together.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, right. If you're on crew, it's like, get your fucking ass back quick.
You're not, you're not.
Well, they said I want to take a break. I want to enjoy a meal.
What do you think the over-under is? Like, how many months will it take of this before the base commanders are like, all right,
this shit
we'll just buy the freaking this.
Nowadays they might just complain on like Facebook on that airman page so badly that they might just cave to it.
Changed,
okay, fine. But listen to how much they can save. David Duffy, who at the time was identified as working for the Camp Humphreys in Korea Food Management Program office when they did the same thing, said the program has been used at other installations and has saved, depending on usage, up to $60,000 a year.
Look, I don't know, maybe for some 60, if it was coming out of my pocket, 60K is a lot.
That's a lot.
If it's coming out of the government facility's pocket, and we all know how ridiculous, there's dozens of other things they could stop doing other than this.
Yeah.
But that's not the worst thing. Jake, were you there or did you leave when they were doing the BRAC stuff at Buckley? Right. And they'd cut everything down.
Oh, yeah.
But they had
out.
one more big cut to make, and they're like, Chow Hall fits that perfectly. So they cut the Chow Hall completely at Buckley.
Yep.
And then they gave vouchers for a while to pay. It was like, well, you can go to Burger King. What, for every meal?
Sometimes people just use no common sense.
I don't wonder why retention's rough.
Yeah. We make stupid decisions.
Right.
We used to have great clubs. We used to have like great the buffets clubs. At the clubs were people would come in on Saturday and Sunday just to go to brunch at the Sunday to brunch at the club.
When you had the NCO club or the Officers Club,
it would be
Pete,
packed.
I think, is the only bowling alley still. Maybe Fort Carson has one, but I don't know. The bowling alley was always great, right? Yeah. Vandy does, but nobody else. But I mean, Buckley doesn't even have a dining hall.
I don't understand why they did a big old push to make that an active duty base.
Yeah,
and then they're doing everything not to make it an active duty base.
Right.
That's what's stupid.
It's dumb. And why is the military? What are like the three things? I can't remember what it is that you don't fuck with enlisted. Right? It's time off, it's pay, and it's food. Right? Why does the military keep fucking with everybody's food?
Food. It's the simplest piece of the pie to not mess with.
Yeah. Like no food. All right, let's go on about our business.
The Pete dining facility, it used to be, I mean, this all makes us sound excessively old. Yeah, but it used to be like you walk in and you got kind of like a fast food, quick food line.
Right.
And then you had like a main course line.
Yeah.
And the meals and all that.
Yeah.
And then Pete shut down half of it. And then it got to go like if you're a retiree, you only get 2 hours or 1 hour, and they were shutting down. No midnight chow anymore.
No.
You know?
So back in my day, I got to Charleston from Turkey. I was an airman, moved in the dorm immediately. It was before I got married the first time. And easily, you walk in the dining facility for breakfast, you walk in the dining facility for lunch, and you walk in the dining facility for dinner. And you had you wanted a cheeseburger or a hot dog, that was the fast food, or you went to the main course. Yeah. And that was perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And
you could walk away from there and be happy. Yeah, even when
you wouldn't spend $20 a day eating 3 meals.
Oh no!
Back in my day, you had the card that you just got.
Yeah.
Punched.
Oh yeah, the punch. Yeah. Right.
So we didn't start paying it until like after 3 years at Charleston when I was there, man. Yeah. When you had to pay a small sum or whatever it was.
Well, if you were on a meal card, you scanned, huh?
Yeah.
I forgot.
Maybe they figured it was cheaper to trade food for beards. Like we're giving you beards.
Tattoos as well.
Beards and tattoos.
Yep.
You get no food, but you get beards.
Beards or tattoos.
Yeah. Makes
you
total
happy
sense
now?
to me.
You happy? We're young guys. We're trying to relate to you. Like,
every time we talk about
still like to have a meal. Like, no.
Every time we talk about one of these stupid stories, it reverts back to, oh, look, the VA lost $90 million.
That's exactly it.
Well, then I understand completely. Completely.
Well, that
I like how you say 90 million. It was 1.3 billion.
Yeah, I was being,
you did.
I was
0.09.
So I missed the number, but you get the drift.
Oh, I do get the drift, and what a transition, Eric. That was fantastic for this next story.
Oh.
This next story is horrifying. It is absolutely horrifying. And it almost sounds like it's not real. It almost sounds unbelievable. So from stripes.com, all right. Vietnam era veterans exposed to nerve agents and hallucinogens in secret military tests seek years of back benefits.
Wow.
All right. Brace your ass for this one. Ready? Vietnam era veterans exposed to nerve agents, hallucinogenic drugs, and a classified military research program more than 50 years ago are appealing for retroactive disability benefits after a federal court ruling found their constitutional rights were violated.
Wow.
Now in their 70s and early 80s, the veterans were sworn to silence and restricted from reporting the debilitating health effects from the program, which included paralysis, cancer, depression, and psychosis. They were also restricted from obtaining disability compensation from the Department of Veterans Affairs, according to the court. It gets better. A 2023 ruling in the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit in Washington is enabling service members for the first time to obtain VA disability compensation retroactive to their date of discharge. An estimated 3,000 to 5,000 veterans who participated as human test subjects in classified studies that the U.S. Army Chemical Corps conducted at Edgewood Arsenal in Maryland are believed to be alive today. That's not everyone who did it. That's just who's still alive.
Wow.
There's potentially 5,000 guys still alive.
Yes. The facility was established in 1948 primarily as a center for researching chemical warfare agents, but military equipment, protective clothing, and pharmaceuticals also were tested at the facility, according to the VA. The Vietnam-era veterans were considered volunteers in classified studies that began in 1956.
Wow.
They signed consent agreements prior to participation in experiments, but said later they were not informed of the risks. All right, here's where it gets just crazy.
How can it get any crazier?
That's getting not
crazy. Wait. About 7,000 military personnel participated in the tests until the Army disbanded the program in 1975, according to the Defense Department. Edgewood Arsenal now functions as the Army Center for Research, Tests, and Development in Chemical, Biological, Radiological, and Nuclear Defense. The court found the secrecy agreements that the participants signed, which carried the threat of criminal penalty if violated, effectively denied them due process and disability compensation to which they were entitled, said Mark Jones, the attorney for several of the veterans. Edgewood veterans said they thought they had volunteered to test military equipment in the 60s and 70s, but were directed instead to military research labs for human trials using chemical substances they received in gas chambers by injection and other means. They were exposed to at least 3 highly poisonous chemical agents during the Edgewood experiments, according to court documents. Some of the agents were known only by numbered references with the prefix EA for Edgewood Arsenal. But through the court documents, they found out they were EA 3580, a form of sarin gas, EA 3547, a derivative of tear gas, and scopolamine, a highly toxic chemical test as a true serum, but that can cause psychosis.
Holy crap. This is the stuff of freaking horror movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, somebody escaped from Edgewood.
Yeah.
Dude, it's a military experiment gone wrong. Like, literally, this is...
That's the basis for so many movies, but they really did it, man.
Think about, to your point, I'm like, I thought I was pretty smart joining the military. I'm thinking maybe I was.
Well, I just...
Did you guys get your anthrax shots? I'm starting to feel like a freaking...
Jake got 7.
So did I.
Way too many.
I did too. And malaria shots. And
service-connected illnesses and injuries of the veterans from the experiments were not recognized by the VA until the secrecy agreements were partially lifted by the Defense Department in 2006, according to court documents.
Wow.
So now they can try to get VA benefits, but there's still some pushback on it. So
unbelievable.
I was trying to find out from the story. A story didn't go in. It was like, what were they given to volunteer for this stuff?
I like the pushback. Why would you? You're like, literally, my name is on the Edgewood Arsenal experiments list. They're like, what symptoms do you have? Do you have 3 people that can corroborate with
no, it's more like,
right.
This finger's down and that finger's up. Oh, see what happened to that finger right there?
Well,
that was part of Edgewood.
What we need you to do first is go through physical therapy.
Oh, yeah.
8 weeks of that, and then come back and we'll reassess you. And they're like, woo, got that one out the door. So, that is, I want to look up Edgewood. What is it called? Edgewood Arsenal.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's got to be something on that by now, right?
Well, the first thing was a wiki page about this.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you find one already?
Yeah, I already closed it, but yes.
That's got to be just scary shit. But didn't the military do what were the experiments that they did on the
remember
black guys, right? The black guys,
The Tuskegee experiment.
the Tuskegee experiments.
Syphilis.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. It's just
Well,
like
I know
here.
they put all the ones that were watching the atomic detonations and stuff, with ditches. Just look out there and look at it,
They have a picture in Fort Sill of the one artillery piece that fired a tactical nuke. And you can see the artillery piece in the foreground, and you can see the mushroom cloud in the back. And there's like 7 guys, with the dark glasses, just standing there looking at us.
I'm sure that was really, really
You
good
would
for you.
say this is
Unbelievable.
crazy. But I just want to know what they offered to get these guys to volunteer for like tests.
Oh, you get a free night off. You get to go to McDonald's.
Yeah, it's an easy assignment.
Yeah, I mean, right?
You got to do
sign this NDA, right, or whatever it was.
We'll take good care of you.
Jesus Christ, man! I mean,
Dude,
assignment of your choice after this.
The list of experiments they did is crazy.
Gas chambers, injections, sarin gas, truth serum. It's fucking ridiculous.
For those of you listeners wanting to join the military,
there was like 8 or 9 different compounds that they were.
Is that what it says? Oh my God, Jesus!
It lists off. It's crazy.
Oh my God.
Edgewood Arsenal. I'm surprised somebody haven't made a movie about that. It'd be like
probably would.
Pelican
all based on. This is
like
probably old as shit, and we just now figuring it out.
I could have been, but it was just a couple days
all
old.
12 people that listen to this are like, "You idiots! You never heard about that? We were telling each other that in grade school."
Could have been, yeah.
And we're like, "This is crazy. Has anybody heard this?"
But
the
court stuff just came open in like 2023. So now they're filing lawsuits, and I think that's why the article came up.
Yeah.
But I'd never heard of Edgewood Arsenal.
Nope.
Yikes.
Brought it to the front. Is that the Wikipedia you just attached?
Yeah.
Oh my God, man.
That's the name of the article. Is Edgewood Arsenal Human Experiments.
Man,
great.
Oh, man.
Good.
By the way, your closest planet to the
LSD
to the Earth is Venus.
Mild.
By the way, Venus.
Oh, shit. Venus.
What's the outer planet? What's the 4th planet in the solar system?
I thought you wanted the closest. Venus.
No, I wanted the 4th planet because I think the asteroid belt is in between that, right?
It's between the
is it
barrier
between 4 and
the gas
5,
giants.
or is it between 3 and 4? I think maybe 4 and 5. I can't remember. Anyway, thanks, Eric.
I'm going to ask my 4-year-old. It says here Mars. Mars.
I'm going
is
to need
4th.
like the foam balls.
Mars.
The big yellow one's the sun. Did you?
Mars.
Sticks going out. Oh,
Mars. 4th.
So maybe it's between Mars and Jupiter. Is that it? Is Jupiter the next one or Saturn?
Is Jupiter the 5th?
I don't know.
Well, hold on.
It should be between those two. Like those are the.
Oh, is that where it is?
The dividing line, I think.
So anyway, I think that's where they were going out for the NASA DART mission, but I don't know.
Jupiter is the 5th. Butt cracks.
We're so dumb.
Jupiter.
Here to help in any way I can.
Marty, we cannot introduce ourselves as space nerds.
I know. We're not really. I mean, we forget all that stuff.
It's between Mars and Jupiter. There's a big.
Yeah, that's okay.
Belt,
Yeah, the asteroid
right
belt. Yeah.
So, in other words, you made me look dumb when you knew the answer the whole time. Come on.
No, I looked at it.
No. None of us did. That's what he's making fun of. It's like we don't know.
That's what exactly it. I knew it was between the gas giants and us.
Yeah.
But then.
Okay. Q.
All right. Speaking of that, well, let's turn this whole frown upside down about Edgewood Arsenal, and let's go to this article.
I'm going to read more about that one.
Yeah, we got to bring that back. Man. That's
That's
tragic. But let's laugh a little bit. This was an article I found from a website called We Are the Mighty. All right. So 8 examples of the military's dark humor.
We have dark humor?
And I actually replaced one of them. So, but anyway, they're pretty good. Then we can laugh about this. It's not unusual for troops to have a nonchalant or comical attitude about the worst of humanity. Sometimes comedy is all they have to make it through hardships that are unimaginable to most, and not just unimaginable, but just fucking boring. That sucks, rainy, mids, all that shit. No containers for food.
Yeah.
Suck it up, cowboy.
And those who have deployed to remote locations in hot zones know this humor all too well. So let me prep let me hide that. Let me take this off. Okay, so it's a mix of some videos and some pictures. And some of these are pretty old, but it's good. It's good to see them again. So this first one is Santa's visit to the Korengal Valley in 2007. All right, ready?
Go ahead, Santa. Let her rip. Yeah, Peter's been naughty or nice. I say naughty. You hear anything? That's because they're naughty. What naughty people get. And that's what Santa says.
That's freaking awesome. Oh my God.
That was Santa at the Korengal Valley in 2007. So
I don't remember that in the documentary.
No, but there is one from Restrepo in here, so that's pretty good.
That's
Korengal had his own documentary too.
Yeah, Korengal was pretty bad.
The Restrepo's good too. Man.
Restrepo's always good. And the Outpost is great. I thought the Outpost
was good too. Yep.
All right, the second one is Army tankers send off a platoon leader. You know how they do, you strap you to a chair and wet you down, whatever it is when you're leaving.
Yep.
Well, these Army tankers sent off a platoon leader this way. Oh, where's the... So this is what they did to their platoon leader. They taped him to the main gun of the M1A1 Abrams. So.
That's freaking awesome too, man. Holy cow. And
it probably took many of those guys to subdue them. I'm sure he didn't go willingly on that.
Yeah, that was not a willing job right there.
But that's pretty good.
How high up is he? About 6.5, 7 feet up?
Oh, he's probably 8 feet up there. But I'm sure they depressed the gun. But they still had to struggle him in there.
He's hanging there pretty securely. Just duct taped and strapped to that.
That's a lot of duct tape. Yeah, that's pretty good. And they saluted him, which is cool.
It's awful nice of him.
Little respect goes a long ways.
Yeah, and if they didn't like him, they would have just let him walk out the gate.
Yeah, that's valid.
So, all right, number 3 is a picture called "Shoot Him."
No,
that was pretty good.
You remember when you were a kid? You had the note that said,
like I was stupid.
Yeah.
Kick me note.
Yeah. This one, "Shoot Him." That's
shoot him with an arrow to the guy next to you.
So those on Podbean or Apple or whatever, he's got a picture on his back that says "Shoot him" with an arrow at the other guy. So
okay, before you go, check this guy at the far right's camouflage in the face.
He's still got a mustache.
Just one color?
Yeah, well, it's dark color. So
I
much
would
for
call
breaking
that-
up the outline.
He looks like Justin Trudeau at a party.
I'm telling you what, that is just weird, man.
That's good, Jake. That's good.
That's weird.
Well, the Marines, and his hands aren't camo either. So, yeah, what are you going to do? It's always nice when they give you the digital cam stuff, but all your equipment's still the BDU pattern, the woodland green
forest.
Yeah.
Very helpful.
All right, number 4 is called "Wait for the Flash." So it looks like a 50 cal, maybe on top of a Hemet, or maybe on top of a 5-ton. It says Iraqi photos with an arrow pointing to the barrel. It says, "Look here, smile, wait for the flash." That's pretty good. Number 5 is, this is from Restrepo, if you guys remember this one. So this is getting shot by Single Shot Freddy. So it's just a quick clip from Restrepo.
Shot Freddy.
That shit was close, dude. Hunter, what's going on right now?
Getting shot at by Single Shot Freddy.
Who's that?
I have a feeling he's a blind Afghan man somewhere between the ages of 60 and 75 years old. And he likes to scare the shit out of us with these single shots that he takes. We've been getting real close, so we're all hiding right now.
How come you think he's blind?
Well, because he hasn't hit anything yet.
I may have to go back and rewatch Restrepo. It's been years since I've seen that. It's been years. All right, that one. This one is here's how EOD, explosive ordnance personnel, scare each other.
Oh, God.
This is going to be terrible. He's got to pop
Just
up back.
suited up.
So the guy's defusing some like artillery shell, and the guy behind him has a bag ready to pop it. So obviously a stage picture, but that's great. That's a good one.
Yeah,
it really is. That's a good one. 7 is robots driving APC. So it should have said like robotic driver of an APC, but I've done that's actually a guy who's standing in that. So
That's freaking awesome.
that looks like a lav. I think that's a lav, a Marine one. So, but yeah,
The vehicle?
I can see
Yeah.
the boredom. He made that. Looks like a robot standing out of the TC hatch.
Was wearing a red shirt underneath too.
Yeah, that was weird.
Red
That was
hoodie.
weird. So,
like
okay,
it.
this last one I think is on the set of a movie, and I think they have a Marine advisor on the set of a movie because at the end they asked him if he wants to be an assistant director. So that's why I think they're on a movie. But it's called Once a Drill Instructor, Always a Drill Instructor.
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday I'll come out here because I think we're going to be off. Monday, Tuesday I'll come out here. I'll grab my gear and I'll...
So it's a bunch of civilians consulting with this Marine.
Stop moving your dead bodies!
The guy he yelled at ran away.
That was good.
I like that.
Yeah.
Have you ever considered being an AD? We need you.
That was very, very good. It surprised me. I was like, where's it go?
I'm glad we weren't next to the barbed wire.
So I don't know what that was. It looked like he was on a movie set or something like that. But man, that voice so piercing. I admire those guys who can turn that on like that. That's pretty good. That's really good. So
Those were good, Marty. I like those.
yeah, it's a nice little,
That was fun.
nice little break.
A little refresher.
Well, take us home and lift our spirits, Eric, with some more U.S. military history. It's becoming a hit. It's becoming
This is one of my
a
favorite, by the way.
sensation. Yeah.
All right,
Oh.
so I'm going to give you a couple hints on this one because you may have seen the movie. It starred Gary Cooper.
Oh God.
World War I, Gary Cooper. No.
Well, wait.
No.
Only World War I besides 1917. That's German, so it couldn't have been Gary Cooper, right?
Right. This is Gary Cooper, black and white.
Okay.
Oh, you got me.
Oh, I figured you. I may be dating myself slightly. Here, let me help you out. This is a great story, man.
All right.
On October 8th, 1918.
Eric
United
never
States-
loses faith in us.
No,
We disappoint him every time, and he keeps going.
So enthusiastic. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's the drive. It's the spirit.
That's right.
I love it.
October 8th, 1918, United States Corporal Alvin York.
Oh.
Right.
Very
Favorite story,
good.
man. Alvin York reportedly kills more than 20 German soldiers and captures an additional 132 at the head of a small detachment in the Argonne Forest near the Meuse River in France. The
Wow.
exploits later earned York the Medal of Honor. So I want to give you a real quick rundown of this thing. It's amazing. The events of October 8, 1918 took place as part of the Meuse-Argonne offensive. what was to be the final Allied push against German forces on the Western Front during World War I. York and his battalion were given the task of seizing German-held positions across a valley. After encountering difficulties, a small group of soldiers, numbering some 17 men, were fired upon by German machine gun nests at the top of a nearby hill.
17?
Yeah. 17 men.
Yeah.
York had, what would that be, like 2 squads maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
What were they doing? Were they like scouts or something?
No, they were tasked with seizing German-held positions across the valley.
Damn, 17 guys. They're like,
Yeah.
okay.
Go get those machine guns. Anyway, they were fired upon by the machine guns nest at the top of the nearby hill. The gunners cut down 9 of those 17 men, including a superior officer, which left York in charge of the squad. And I love this part. This is quote from Alvin York's diary. All right. So as York wrote in his diary of his subsequent actions, those machine guns were spitting fire and cutting down the undergrowth all around me, something awful. Now, remember, he was from Pall Mall, Tennessee, big time country boy. He was a conscientious objector trying to come in where they were trying to draft him.
Yeah.
He was refused.
Wow.
So they were cutting down the undergrowth all around me, something awful. I don't have time to dodge a tree or dive into a brush. I didn't even have time to kneel or lie down. As soon as the machine guns opened fire on me, I began to exchange shots with them. In order to sight me or to swing their machine guns on me, the Germans had to show their heads above the trench. And every time I saw a head, I just touched it off.
Oh, man.
Touched it off. All the time, I kept yelling at them to come down. I didn't want to kill any more than I had to, but it was they or I.
Yeah.
And I was giving them the best I had.
Damn.
So several other young American soldiers followed York's lead and began firing as they drew closer to the machine gun nest. The German commander, thinking he had underestimated the size of the enemy squadron, surrendered his garrison of some 90 men.
To these 17 guys?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Because of the fire that they were able to lay down,
Yeah.
this German commander thought there were many more men than what they really had.
Whoa.
Yeah. So on the
That's
way back to
really
the
cool.
Allied lines, York and his squad took more prisoners for a total of 132 men. Yep. Though Alvin York consistently played down his accomplishments of that day, he was given credit for killing more than 20 German soldiers, promoted to the rank of sergeant, and he remained on the front lines until November 1st, 10 days before the armistice was signed.
Wow.
In April 1919, York was awarded the highest American military decoration, the Medal of Honor.
Sergeant York.
Freaking
Man.
great story.
God, that's great.
And he was a conscientious objector or a religious?
Yeah, he was,
Wow.
as a country boy, big time
Yeah.
religious
Yeah.
guy, to the point I'm almost fanatical. Thou shalt not kill.
Sure.
So he takes this, I'll call it a getaway for a pilgrimage into the mountains in Tennessee.
Huh.
And he said that God told him that you will have to protect you and your family, and going to war was okay.
Wow. Wow.
Even though his request to be a conscientious objector was refused anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who was it?
man.
Dose? The Hacksaw Ridge guy.
Yeah,
Dose?
the Hacksaw Ridge guy.
Yeah.
He
Doss.
was a
Doss.
Seventh Day
Doss.
Adventist.
Seventh Day
right?
Adventist. Yeah, the
Yeah.
hardcore guys. Yeah, the hardcores.
Yep.
So, wow, that's really cool. So, what was the date? What was the date of that action?
October 8th, 1918.
Oh man, well done, Eric. Yeah,
That's a great story. If you ever get to see
pulling
the
some
Gary Cooper
gems
movie,
out, man. Yeah,
it's funny. It's a little ridiculous too, because Gary Cooper's behind this tree
yeah.
and he's using a turkey gobbler call. Blah, 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 and the German will stick his head up. And he scoots it. But it's pretty cool. It's a good story to watch.
You know, and without hearing that whole story, I always got, not there's remnants of it in my history, but I get that confused with Audie Murphy's story. Some other story that always in the room, sort of, right? Oh, I think my internet crapped out.
It did.
It did.
Did
But
that yet.
you dropped out when you said it reminded you of the Audi. You got
Audie Murphy
Audie
story.
Murphy.
Yeah, the Audie Murphy story. So we'll have to go over that. Maybe we can have a new competition. I'll propose it to you guys after we stop recording here. So see if you think it's tasteful or not. But
Don't ruin the surprise.
Anyway, nice job, Eric. That was a good one.
Man.
You were
That's my favorite
surprising me the last 2 or 3. I really am. Man,
Kudos to you.
Yeah.
You fellas mean so much to me. I have to work extra hard.
I have a newfound respect for all this history because look what it's produced in you. Success, a beautiful wife, fantastic retirement, successful OnlyFans page.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
It means a lot, man.
Yeah.
Golf all day, fan all night.
Woo! It's long hours, bro. You got to be ready for it.
Okay.
We got to market that
Thanks for
Mr. History G-string. You can always wear. Yeah, so.
I'm still all about the freaking overalls with some oil in the cornfield.
Well, the Mr. History oil and scrunchies. So
a lot of glistening. A lot of glistening. The corn oil or
well, too bad Anna would have got a kick out of the glistening talk, but too bad for her. We are at NDEP, gentlemen. We are at NDEP. So on behalf of all of us here, I'd like to thank you for listening today. Please like, share, subscribe, and let us know how we did in the comments. And make sure next week that you are not way too late for changeover.
Yeah, horrible.
Gentlemen, thanks for the week. And thanks to everyone listening and watching, and we'll see you next week.
Peace out.
Have a good one, guys.